Guys, Bill Wurtz, History of Japan. We're gonna learn about anime, guys. We're gonna learn about the history of Japan and the kawaii, all of that right here today, guys.
Japan is an island by
That
the
is
sea.
so loud, holy. It is beautiful. It is really pretty. I want to go to Japan. I've never gone to Japan. Place Japan, the soy Wojak meme.
Japan might not have been here. In the year -40,000, it was here, and you could walk to it, and some people walked to it. Then it got warm.
Walk to it.
Some icebergs melted, it became an island, and now there's lots of trees.
Trees.
Because it's warmer.
Oh,
so now
cool.
there's people on the island. They're basically sort of hanging out in between the mountains, eating nuts off trees, and using the latest technology.
Nuts.
And bowls. Ding dong, it's the outside world, and they have technology from the future, like really good metal and crazy rice farms. Now you can make a lot of rice really, really quickly. That means if you own the farm, you own a lot of food, which is something everybody needs to survive. So that makes you king.
We have
Rice
king.
farming and rice kingdoms spread across the land.
Japan war crimes.
The most important kingdoms were here, 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 and here. But
Yamato, Keanu, Yoshi, Azuma.
This one was the most important. Ruled
Yamato.
by a heavenly super person, or emperor for short.
Heavenly super person. Did the pan not play?
It's religion.
It's
The
Keanu.
prince wants everyone to try this hot new religion from Biekt. Please try this religion, he said. No, said everybody.
Oh.
Try it, he said. No, said everybody.
No.
Again, quieter this time. And so the religion was
Prime President play. It's probably because of the, I don't know, it's like really laggy.
put into place, and all the rules that came with it. Then
Good, I'm glad it didn't play.
It's
so loud.
Reforms, like making the government govern more, and making the government more like China's government, which is a government that governs more. Hi, China,
Oh.
they said.
Hello,
Hi,
China.
dipshit, said China. Can you call us
Hello,
something else
dwarf.
Other than dipshit, said Japan. Like what? Said China. How about Sunrise Land? Said Japan.
Nihon,
They stole China's
Nihon.
alphabet and wrote a book about themselves. And then they made lots of poetry and art and another book about themselves.
Anime. That's foreshadowing for later.
And they stopped moving the capital every time the emperor died and kept it in one place for a while. Right
Kyoto.
there. And they conquered the north finally. Get that square.
I know a lot about Kyoto. There's this animation studio called Kyoto Animations. It was like burned down this one time.
Right away. A rich hipster named Kukai is bored with modern
Kukai.
Buddhism, visits China and learns a better version, which is more spiritual. Comes back,
Zen.
learns the alphabet, and causes art and
I'll give it after. I'll add it right after this video.
literature to be great for a long time. And the royal palace turned into such a dream world of art that they really didn't give a shit about running the country.
Traditional Japanese art does look like, unironically, it does look pretty good. It looks really good. I like it.
So if you live outside the palace, how are you supposed to protect your shit from criminals? Hire a samurai.
A samurai.
Rich, important people hired samurai. Poor people who could not afford to hire samurai did not hire samurai. The samurai became organized and
What are they, like the-
more powerful than the government, so they made their own military government. Here, they
Shogunate.
let the emperor still be emperor.
So they're like the private private police detective that everyone has,
But
guarding everyone's, or like taking care of everyone's internet browsing history.
the shogun is actually in control. Breaking news:
The shogun.
Mongols have invaded
The
China.
Mongols.
Coffee, are you a femboy?
No, we've gone over this.
We've invaded China.
Said the Mongols.
Please respect us, or else we might invade you as well.
Oh,
Okay, said Japan.
Okay.
So the Mongols came over
Bet.
for war and died in a tornado. But
oh,
they
this
tried
is
again.
this is like that. That's that one game called Ghost of Tsushima.
And
This
had
was in the Tsushima.
a nice time fighting with the Japanese, but then died in a tornado.
Oh.
Then the emperor overthrows the shogunate. Then the shogunate overthrows him back and moves to Kyoto and makes a new shogunate. And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants.
Sounds
That's
like a femboy in denial.
Or not, brother.
fine. Now there's more art. Like
Let's
painting
go.
with less colors, collaborative poetry, plays, monkey fun, tea parties, gardening,
This is foreshadowing for later.
architecture, flowers. It's time for who's going to be the next shogun. Usually it's the shogun's kid, but the shogun doesn't have a kid, so he tries to get his brother to quit being a monk and be the next shogun. He says, okay, but then the shogun has a kid. So now who's it going to be? Vote now on your phones. And everyone voted so hard
Shogun.
that the palace caught on fire and burned down.
Cool.
Didn't care. He was off somewhere doing poetry, and the
Oh,
whole
W.
country broke into pieces.
Rose
Everyone is
and
fighting with each
Zen.
other for local power, and it's anybody's game. Knock knock, it's Europe. No, they're not here to take over. They just want to sell some shit, like clocks and guns and
Double.
So that's
Jesus.
cool, but everyone's still fighting each other for control now with guns. And
It's
wouldn't
not
it be
useful
nice
right
to
now,
control
but
the
it's useful
capital,
for later.
which right now is
Kyoto.
posed with no one controlling them. This clan
It's a
is ready
surprise
to
tool
make
that'll help us later.
a run for it. But first, they have to trample this smaller clan, which is in the way.
Oda.
Surprise, the smaller clan wins, and the leader of that
Oh.
clan steals the idea of invading the capital and invades the capital. And it
Cool.
goes very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan when someone who works for him kills him, and then someone else who works for him kills them, and that guy finishes conquering Japan. And then he confiscated everybody's swords and made some rules.
I'm having a sword or a gun. No climbing the social ladder, pay taxes. Oh.
Now I'm going to invade Korea and then hopefully China, he said, and failed, and also died. But before he died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-old
Nobunaga. Not him.
son until he's old enough to be the next ruler of Japan. And the 5 guys said, yeah, right. It's not going to be this kid. It's going to be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably going to be this guy, who happens to be way more rich and powerful than the others. A lot of people support him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have a fight, and he wins, and starts a new government, right here.
Edo.
He still lets the emperor dress like an emperor, and have very nice things. But don't get confused. This is the new government, and they are very strict. So strict they close the country. No one can leave, and no one can come in. Except for the Dutch, if they want to buy and sell shit. But they have to do it right here. Now that the entire country was not at war with itself, the population increased a lot. Business increased, schools were built, roads were built, everyone learned to read.
More roads.
There was poetry, plays, sexy times, puppet shows, Dutch studies. People started to study European science from books they bought from the Dutch. We're talking geography, skeletons, physics, chemistry, astronomy, maybe even electricity. Over time, the economic and cultural prosperity began to gradually slow down.
Oh no.
The United States, with huge boats, with guns, gunboats. Open the country. Stop having it be closed, said the United States. There's really nothing they could do, so they signed a contract that lets the United States, Britain, and Russia visit Japan anytime they want. Choshu and Satsuma hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks.
This
and with almost very little outside help, they overthrew the shogunate and somehow made the emperor again and moved him to Edo, which they renamed.
He was still alive?
Eastern capital. They made a new government, which was a lot more
What do you want me to tweet?
They made a new constitution that was pretty Western, and a military that was pretty Western.
Large.
Do you know what else is Western?
Large.
That's right. It's conquering stuff. So what can we conquer? Korea. They conquer Korea, taking it from its previous owner, China, and then go a little bit further. And Russia rushes in out of nowhere and says, "Stop! No, you can't take that. We were here to try to get some warm water." And Russia builds their railroad, supervised by a shit ton of soldiers. And then when the railroad was done, they downgraded to a fuck ton. Did I say downgrade? I meant upgrade. And Japan says, "Can you maybe chill?" And Russia says, "How about maybe you chill?" Japan is kind of scared of Russia. You'll never guess who's also kind of scared of Russia. Great Britain. So Japan and Great Britain make an alliance together so they can become a little less scared of Russia. Feeling confident, Japan goes to war against Russia, just for a moment, and then they both get tired and stop.
Oh wow, they actually got pretty far.
The world is about to have a war, because it's the 1900s and
was I ready to talk about? But I'm not tweeting something that's a lie. Give me something better.
Weapons are getting crazy, and all these empires are excited to try them out on each other. Meanwhile, Japan has been enjoying conquering stuff and wants more. And the next thing on the list is this part of China and lots of tiny islands.
Qingdao, Marianas.
Just had war declared on it by Britain because Britain was friends with Belgium, which was being trespassed by Germany in order to get to France to kick France's ass because France is friends with Russia, who was getting ready to kick Austria's ass because Austria was getting ready to kick Serbia's ass because someone from Serbia shot the leader of Austria's ass.
That's so confusing and actually so accurate. What? Hello, Mort.
Actually shot him in the head. And Britain is currently friends with Japan.
Bro, this is foreshadowing for something that's about to happen. All the payoff from seasons 1 through 5 have been leading up to the payoff in season 6.
So you know what that means. Duh, Japan should take the islands. Which they wanted to do anyway. So they called Britain on the telly to sort of...
Wait, when is it going to happen? It's about to happen.
And they also helped Britain a little here and there with some errands and stuff. Now
ring, 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 ring.
Congratulations, Japan. You technically fought in the war, which means you get to sit at the negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decided
with the big boys.
And yes, Japan gets to keep all that shit they stole from Germany.
Yay!
You also get to join the post-war mega alliance, the League of Nations, whose mission statement is to try not to take over the world.
That was a very accurate World War I, yeah.
Is now crappy, but the military is doing just fine, and it invades Manchuria. And the League of Nations
Manchuria.
is like, no,
you know what that means? Fish.
Fish.
Do that if you're in the League of Nations.
League of Legends.
And Japan said, "How about I do anyway?" And Japan
what if?
More and more.
What about if I do anyway?
Planning to invade the entire
It actually got.
mail.
It's from Germany. The new leader of Germany. He has a cool mustache.
Yeah, it's him, guys.
Needs friends. This also got forwarded to Italy.
Wait, what did he say? From him, Fumimaru Kotone.
Fun fact: Japan is one of the only countries to only win a single world war.
He's one. What? I'm interested in taking over the world, and I was wondering if you could be my friend.
They all decided to be friends because they had so much in common. It's time for.
Wait, what do they have in common?
This also got forwarded to Italy.
Hello, Overcaffen8ted.
Friends because they had so much.
Trying to take over.
common. It's time
Needs friends.
Germany is invading the neighbors.
WW2.
Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors' neighbors, who happen to be Britain, said, "Holy shit!" And the United States started helping Britain because they are good friends, and started not helping Japan because they're friends, and our friends are not friends. Plus, they're planning on invading the entire ocean. The United States is also.
Why the ocean? You can't stand on it. You can't build schools on the ocean. The not so funny mustache man. Yeah, he was kind of like. Was he ever funny? I mean, he did art for a while. That was pretty cool, but then he didn't get accepted, and then he said, "You know what? I hate the Jews."
Working on a large, very huge bomb.
Or maybe he always hated the Jews.
Bigger than any other.
Who's to
bomb
say?
Ever.
Big
in
bomb.
case. But they still have
Just
to
in
War
case.
looks bad on TV, and the United States is really starting to care about their image. But then Japan spits on them in Hawaii and challenges them to war, and they say yes. And then Germany, as a symbol of friendship, declares war on the United States also. So the United States goes to war in Europe, and they help the gang chase Germany back into Germany, and they also start chasing Japan back into Japan. And they haven't used the bomb yet, and are curious to see if it works. So they drop
Let's see if it works.
They actually drop 2.
Cool. Oh, Jesus. The bomb. Bombaklat. You win.
The United States installed a new government, inspired by the United States government, with just the right ingredients for a post-war economic miracle. And Japan starts making.
Where's the
EVs,
anime?
CRs, automobiles, and
An
cannons
anime. Oh.
as fast as they can, and also better than everybody else. They get rich, and the economy goes wild. And then the miracle wears
Then they
off.
make anime.
Still
Oh.
pretty cool, I guess.
That's anime. Oh. That was a split second of anime. No. We only got a split second of anime. Oh, but yeah, that was pretty cool. That was cool. Now I know more about Japan. They dropped the and then they did the again. That was cool. That was fun to learn about. That was pretty cool.